And we are back from our break. This is Bowles.tv, BOLES.TV, television. I'm David Bowles, Monday through Friday, here with you live at 9 a.m. Eastern. And we've had a wonderful, interesting morning. And I realized that those original MeBot avatars that have now been burned, if you saved a copy, that's where all the value will be. Not what they're going to replace it with. The original mistakes. You could do a lot with it. It's a good story. But how many people saved it? I don't know. I'm going to find out later, though, I think. So, now we reach a point in our conversation about scams. And how we try to be careful. And sometimes it just doesn't really work out very well. And there is a scam that is currently going on in the community of the deaf, I believe, on Facebook. And it is sort of related to the Community Services Block Grant, CSBG. But some of these scammers flip it around just a little bit so it sounds like the same thing, but it's not the same thing. In this scam we're going to look at, they call it a Community Development Block Grant. So if you do a search on that, Google will kind of take you to Services Block Grant, but I guess the scammers think if they get in trouble, they'll say, well, I didn't say it was that program. I said it was development, not services. And for some reason, the beautiful and talented Jan Marie was somehow, I don't want to say ensnared, but somehow included in this scammy conversation. I don't know if it was a group chat or if it was sent to her or if this is some kind of proof that now her information has been somehow compromised by this process. But it's all very unfortunate and extremely frustrating. And I'm going to show you why right now. So I have a series of screenshots that we'll read together. And this all happened back in May, but we just found out about it when I was updating Jana Marie's Apple computers. And I got this message from iMessage saying, hey, there's this thing asking for new permissions on your computer. Do you want to give permission or not? And I looked at it and it was iMessage. And we don't use iMessage because it's a corrupt way to get into your phone. And we don't do FaceTime. We go other more secure methods of communicating on our iPhones. So I said, no. And then I kind of looked at it and I saw that there was this that you're looking at, this iMessage that appeared to be to her but wasn't to her. And I'm thinking something funky is up and weird. So, setting the stage, I've tried to blur out all of the private information. The person who's being scammed is sort of a friend. 712 is an Iowa area code, and the call, as they say, is coming from in the house. This is a Council Bluffs, Iowa phone number that is doing the scamming. Now, the scam name I'm not hiding because it's not a real name and I don't care. So here we go. This is how it starts. And we just found out about it this weekend. So this has been around causing trouble somehow since May 26th, but we didn't know about it. We never got an iMessage about it until we updated our computers and we got this alert that something was up. Do you want to give extra permissions to iMessage? No. This is Agent Thomas Johnson, in charge of the Community Development Block Grant Program, CDBG, okay? It's really CSBG, Community Services Block Grant Program. What is your full name? Okay, so that's all we have right there. So that's really all I saw for the first day when I denied all of this. And then I checked on her iPhone, and I said, well, wait a minute, because I actually clicked on this to read the rest of the message. And that's where I started getting very concerned. So you click on this to get the whole thing, and boy, oh boy, this is a long interaction. What is your full name so we can check on our database? And the person who is being targeted, who is being scammed, a deaf person. And you're going to say, how do you know it's a deaf person? Could be anybody. Could be any person. Why are you picking on the deaf? Well, you're going to see in a minute. And as in all communities, there are people who have high information and people who have low information. And there are people who are desperate for money and opportunity, and they are very, very ripe for these scams, and that's why these scams are so popular. Because people are desperate, and they think that they can get something for nothing. And how do you convince them? You're not going to get this for that. Oh, yes, I will. I have it in print. It's on my iMessage. This is happening. It's a real thing. Oh, it's not. It's a scam. Your brother told you it's a scam. It's a friend told you it's a scam. Janet Marie's sweetheart said it's a scam, and you don't think it's a scam. So, the mark, the target, responds, hi. Okay, my full name is, and she gives her full first, middle, and last name. She doesn't know this person. This person just sent her an iMessage. So the scammer says, okay, please hold on while I run a verification check on our database. And the mark says, okay, sure, no problem. Are you okay? Do you understand? The scammer says, yes. Why? Well, what do you mean? The mark says, I do not understand what you talk about. Excuse me, my first time. And then she says, oh, yes, I got it just waiting for you. Answer question. To receive the money, you have to fill out the claim requirement form. I believe that is from the scammer, who is now no longer speaking in all caps. And the scammer says, here we go. I need your full name. I need your address. Are you male or female? Married or single? And here we go. Hearing or deaf? Monthly income, phone number, age. So right there you know that somebody in Council Bluffs, Iowa is targeting people, probably through Facebook friends, sending them iMessages, pretending to be someone they are not in order to get money out of them. And you know it's a scam against the deaf because of that question. You've seen a lot of these scam things. Have they ever asked you in a scam SMS text, are you hearing or deaf? Never. They know she's deaf. And when you speak ASL and you're in a deaf community, you are proud to be deaf and to self-identify culturally as deaf. So immediately, that is a very cunning hook to hook your mark by using cultural pride as the anchor it's going to sink this person. Phone number, age, and then the great warning. Note. Any false or misleading information may terminate your grant or get you disqualified. So kindly, see, there's that catchphrase. We talked about it with Gordon earlier about this scam thing. You see the word kindly, and you know you are being scammed. And a lot of these people just take scripts that exist, they copy, paste them, and make them usable for their function. So if you're probably a deaf person trying to scam another deaf person, you would take a script that you know has worked before for other people and modify it a little bit. So kindly provide the valid details for due processing and verification. You need to fill out this form so we can know your destination when bringing your money deliver to you at your doorstep. And the mark says, okay, I got it now. I understand. Thanks. Okay. And then the scammer says, I need you to fill in the form now. And get back to us, ma'am. So the mark replies. And see, usually these scammers need to get you in and out. Before you can talk to anybody, before you can ask a question, they usually put a time limit on it. And I don't believe this happened in this process, at least as far as we know. They usually say you have 20 minutes to comply, get this done, or you lose all your money. Or they say you have 45 minutes to get this done, or we're sending the marshals over to your house to arrest you for fraudulent information that you just gave us. They did not put a time limit on this. And you'll see as this goes on that this went on for a long time, which is sort of a good thing for the mark. I understand. I can get back to it. Here is, my full name is, again, my full address is this, including apartment number. Omaha, Nebraska. Omaha and Council Bluffs are right across the river from each other, 3 minutes away. So Omaha, Council Bluffs is the same metro area. I'm female. I'm single. I'm deaf, right? That was one of the questions. Little deaf emoticon there, see? Showing the cultural pride. And here's why this conversation went on so long instead of getting cut off earlier is she says her monthly income is $6,000, $588. Now, I don't believe that's true because this person is disabled, has not worked for 2 years, and is very ill. So perhaps the question was misunderstood in providing an answer. But when you tell a scammer your monthly income is $6,600, they're going to bite you, and they're not going to let you go. My home number video phone is, my age is 57 and a half. My birth date is June 1964. And now the scammer says, back to all caps now, do you want your fund? That's why I think that this is copy and paste. When he's speaking directly to her without the script, it's upper and lower case. When he's using the script and copying and pasting, it's all caps. Do you want your fund to be presented either by cash or check? The mark replies, cash. Okay. Now we go back to regular typeface. Good. The scammer says, now your grant is guaranteed for delivery. So finally, you will need to clear the personal charges, the clearance fee, to the delivery desk officer for the delivery of your grant. And here's where the hammer falls. You pay $2,200 and get $100,000. $3,100, $200,000. $4,500, $300,000. $5,000, $400,000. $8,000, $500,000. $11,000, and on and on and on and on and on. Which one is preferable to you, the scammer says. You have to choose your preferable delivery fee now so that the processing can start immediately. $8,000, you get $500,000. How do you want to make your payment? And the mark says, can I pay you every month until I pay enough? And the scammer says, yes, we accept that till you pay off, but you need to make an advance payment now to make your package funds ready to safe. Now, I'm not saying there is a classical way of phrasing a scam message, but just reading that sentence suggests to me, based on my experience, that was written by a deaf person. Just by the way the syntax and the glossing happens in that. And it's understood by the mark, so maybe that's a smart method. Deaf English is different than standard English. And the mark says, thanks, okay, $200, okay. And the scammer very smartly says, oh, you want to make a payment of $2,000. No, the mark says, I mean $200. And the scammer says, that's all you have now? And the mark says, okay. And the scammer says, well, why don't you make it $500 as an advance payment at first? And then here we go. Where the mark says, well, on June 3rd, I get paid. Yes, $500. The scammer says, okay, I'll let you pay $200 now, just to notify the accountant here that you're ready to get your funds. So how did you want to make the payment? Are you there? And the mark says, oh, I don't have $200 now. But wait until I get paid on June 3rd. Now, you might think that this is part of a Reddit scam, because there are people in the Reddit scam group who talk to these scammers, give them a hard time, run them around, go this way, that way, spin their heads, just to mess with them. This is not that. This is real life messing around with the scammer. The scammer says, ma'am, you need to pay the advance money now or your funds are going to be terminated. And you told me you have $200, so I will need you to pay that right now for the accountant to prepare your package. And the mark says Cash App. Okay, fine. Or other. And the scammer goes to the next level. Did you know how to buy Bitcoin on Cash App? We talked about that with our friend Commissioner Gordon from Batman a week or two ago, and how much I love Cash App. And now you can actually buy Bitcoin on your Cash App and then make it into Ethereum and send it to yourself. I guess I'm not the only one who loves Bitcoin and Cash App. And the scammer goes on and says, because I will give you the government Bitcoin tag now. And our mark says, hold. And the scammer says, okay, we'll be waiting for you now while I get the government Bitcoin tag. And then the mark says, please explain to me. I'm still not sure. Where can I use payment? PayPal? And the scammer says, do you have a Cash App? And the mark says, no, I do not have, but I will add Cash App, okay? Then the scammer says, okay, once you add Cash App on your Cash App, then you can buy Bitcoin on your Cash App. Then let me know when you are done with that. I hope you understand me now. Yes, the mark says. And here we go. This is the proof from the mark with a screenshot of her Cash App. $200. And the scammer says, waiting for you now. Yes, click on Bitcoin. And the mark says, hold, well, what's your email or your name? And the scammer says, no. You need to click on Bitcoin first. Have you done that? 2 and 4, I need then click, the mark says. 2, 4. And the scammer says, once you have clicked on Bitcoin, you can just screenshot and tell me the next thing to do. And the mark says, well, not work. Because I not have enough cash in bank. That's why click not work. That's why I'm waiting till June 3rd. I'm sorry. The mark continues, I'm at insurance company for a mess up. I'm sorry. And then the scammer gives the Cash App address of where to send it and the name. And then the mark says, what? And then the scammer says, I hope you have $200 on your Cash App. And the mark says, what do you mean? And the scammer says, you said you have $200. Then send it through Cash App or PayPal. Do you understand me now, ma'am? Did you get that now, ma'am? And the mark says, oh, hold please. Okay. And here we go with another screenshot of the mark's bank balance, which is 0. And the scammer says you need to add cash from your bank to your Cash App first before sending money. Did you get that? And the mark says, okay, yes, still waiting. And the scammer says, have you added cash to your Cash App? Are you there? And the mark says, I'll ask my brother. Hold. I just learned, okay, please. Hold, thanks. Okay. Then the scammer says, hello, ma'am. This is taking too long. Are you there? And the mark says, yes, I'm here, waiting for my brother to answer. I'm sorry. Okay. Then the mark says, you scam what he told me. 8 exclamation marks. And the scammer says, that's just the problem. This is never a scam, because this is legit government funds. Can he text me so we can talk about it? And the mark says, okay. My brother Doug, his number is this. You text him, please. The scammer says, I just sent him a text, which I'm sure the scammer did not. And the scammer wants to turn around and say, hey, Doug says it's fine. Go ahead. We talked about it. It's all cleared up. And so the scammer then says, have you added the cash to your Cash App to begin the preparation for your funds? Are you there? And the mark says, I'm waiting for him, her brother, to add in my bank account. Then it will be fine, okay? And the mark continues, I'm sorry, my brother, very strict. I send your links. I trust you. And the scammer says, how much do you have in your PayPal? And I guess doesn't get an answer. And so the scammer says, I have nothing to do here. Again, I will direct you to the government accountant. You can tell the accountant whatever you want to tell him. And that's where this conversation ends. And how this ended up in Jana Marie's iMessage, I do not know, and I'm not sure I want to know. But the person who was a mark provided lots of information. Showed her contact list, her Cash App to this scammer along with phone numbers, gave her brother's phone number. And when this conversation was over, she asked her friends, including Jana Marie, I'm going to get all this money. I'm going to give $2,000 and I'm going to get $50,000 back. And Jana and her friend said, why would anybody do that? Well, it's a government grant program, but it's not, but it is. I have the message. It's written down. And the story doesn't really end there. The story sadly continues that a few days later, it was discovered that the mark was overdrawn in her bank by $200. And the bank had covered it. So after this conversation, it appears that $200 was removed from her bank account and sent somewhere. Now you need more than that, right? You need another $1,800 or you're going to lose your money. And a few days after that, the mark contacted her 401k trustee and said, I have $78,000 in my 401k and I need $50,000 of it right now. And the trustee said, if you wait a year and a half, you don't have to pay any tax on it. But if you take it now, that $50,000, you're going to pay $10,000 of tax because it's an early withdrawal. So instead of getting $50,000, you're only going to get $40,000. And that was a 2-hour conversation. And she decided to take it out anyway, $50,000. Oh, I need to buy furniture. I need to get a new computer. What are you going to do with the rest of the $40,000? And this mark is known in the community from which this person who was scamming her came from, knows that she has had in the past a gambling problem. So is there some of that 401k money going to pay off the rest of this fake investment scam? My brain says absolutely, but my heart says I hope not. But there are people who listen and there are people who do what they want to do. So what can you do? They come to you for information and for guidance, and you give them information and guidance, and they reject it. And we weren't able to make that connection between this scam and the strange withdrawal of $50,000 from a 401k plan until this iMessage appeared in Jana Marie's inbox. Then it all made sense. Oh, you bounced $200 that your brother, Doug, covered for you later. You need another $1,800, even though you said you're not doing it, so you take $50,000 out of your 401k. And over the weekend, I found this. Southern View Police Department. We, the Southern View Police Department, exist to serve all people. And we are here to safeguard people. And we're letting you know of a Facebook scam. Community Development Block Grants. This is nothing special. This is nothing new. Our friend was a mark with a giant, big banner over her head saying, "Take my money." The Southern View Police Department officers are taking reports of scams on unsuspecting victims. In the latest report, the scammers are posting under the Facebook page named Community Development Block Grant, which is where I'm sure that this scam was copied from. They promise you a package of $100,000 if you send them the money needed to pay FedEx and to deliver your money, your cash, right? In this case, it's nearly $7,000. This is typical scammer activity. In every text of the victim's Facebook Messenger, the individual refers to them as madam, ma'am. The CDBG page itself appears to be official. However, they have very little activity in the last 8 years. They only posted enough cover photos to appear official, so you won't question the legitimacy of it. They also seem to be in a hurry to get your money. The area code listed is California. This is not local. These are red flags. This one was local. And now what do you do? California Department of Community Services and Development. Community Service Block Grant Consumer Alert. California residents should be aware of fraudulent activity by individuals claiming to represent the Community Services Block Grant. Fraudsters unrelated are contacting people by telephone, email, social media, and text message, offering funding or services in exchange for a fee. Classic. But if you're low information, maybe you don't read English as well as maybe you think you do, you're a prime target. Especially if you have $78,000 in your 401k. And now you go to the government website, grants.gov. This is so well known and so spread out. They have a whole page on it called Grant, Fraud, and Scams. I'll put that link in chat. And the hardest thing to get through these people, these marks, is why would anybody give you all of that money for a little bit of money? And they're caught up in it because I'm important, because I'm a part of the community, because I'm building, because they know I don't have any money, they want to help me. And there are people that get scammed with gift cards. We have your daughter, and if you give us $2,000 in Apple gift cards, we'll release her, but you have 30 minutes, go to the store. And the registrar people who work behind the register are trained. What are you doing with, $2,000 of these? Oh my, and you can't tell the scammer said, you can't tell anybody. You tell anybody, we're going to kill your daughter. We're going to send the marshals after you. The FBI is on your doorstep. Pay us right now. And it's usually old people who are retired, who don't know any better. And these companies, CVS, Walgreens, Duane Reade, they know to say, look, you're probably being scammed. Let me help you. And they've helped a lot of people. How to recognize and avoid scams. Great news, you're eligible to receive a government grant. For a small fee, you can obtain a government grant. The government does not charge a fee for individuals or entities applying for federal grant. While financial information may be required as part of the application process, it's to be submitted through a government website. The Federal Bureau of Grants has awarded you $8,000. Do not be fooled. and on and on and on. So you wonder, how can you? We sent this page, this link, to that person who was the mark for this scam. Interpreted it for her, explained it to her. Two days later, she was getting her 401k. So what do? You can't protect people from everything. Hey, there's our friend. Nice to see you. When people are money hungry and they don't have any money, and someone tries to fake them out with this sort of scam, they're not in a rational state of mind. You cannot reason with them. And the Mark's brother, who kind of takes care of her, yells at her, says, do not do this. Yelling doesn't work either. Compassion, information sharing, yelling, threatening. It doesn't work. It doesn't go through. So I guess you just have to leave people alone, and they lose all of their retirement savings and funding, and it all goes down the drain. And in the end, they're probably still going to be somebody's responsibility, but they're not going to have any of their money anymore. So they'll be totally reliant on those who are assigned to care for them. And that is a big and unfortunate burden. Now we've come to the end of our time together. It's been a wonderful show full of interesting scams and scabs and bloody stunts. It's the way of the world as we know it today. This is the definition of the human condition. I'm David Bowles, and I thank you very much for being here.